It's that MATT, and we're back with our another edition of Beyond the Mat Wrestle Talk Wednesday. And I'm proud to bring in a new co-host for a little bit in time that we will have. And it's a mystery for everyone out there. I posted a video earlier on TikTok. Hopefully people saw it and are going to tune in, because he is the man, the myth, the legend, the leader of the HKA. Heel Kevin, welcome to the show.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just hanging out on a Wednesday.
Get your chores done.
Got them done last night, man.
Happy wife. Happy wife equals happy life.
Yeah, happy wife is happy life, but nobody said it had to be my wife.
Well, I mean,
Matt's just like, wow, this took a turn for the worst.
Actually, my wife is home today. She's been dealing with some back issues down the some sciatic nerve issues. So she's kind of laid up for the last couple days. But so yeah, it's your show as far as your episode for this week, and you are going to be my co-host for a few weeks going. So we had kind of a semi-show earlier a couple weeks ago, where I kind of touched base with like everything. I mean, we can go into a little bit more details and like some other things that people might not know about Heel Kevin.
Sure, man. What are you gonna do? I'm an open book.
So let's see. We'll still sticking with what was your favorite era of wrestling? Like
Territory days.
Territory?
Hands down, Territory days. I don't know what it was about it. And honestly, it was before my time. When I started watching wrestling, Vince McMahon had already owned the WWE, WWF at the time. And like, I really enjoyed it, but going back and watching what led to that, going back and watching the reaction the Midnight Express would get when they went from Missouri to Florida to Tennessee, and they went all these other places. It really kept you on your toes. And I think it was a good time in wrestling, because it was pre-social media. I feel like social media to an extent has kind of ruined wrestling. There's no surprise anymore. There's no pop anymore. There's no big reveal anymore. Everybody knows something, and everybody wants to ruin it. Like Randy Orton was at the NXT Performance Center this past Tuesday. A couple fans seen him, and he was like, hey, don't tell anybody. What do? They posted it all over fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got to be fucking Sean Ross Sapp.
Well, and I think for the most part, I think the dirt sheets have ruined wrestling, in my opinion. Like the internet dirt sheets have ruined wrestling.
100%, but at the same time, like the actual dirt sheets, like the Meltzers, even though I can't stand Meltzer, but PWI, and all these other magazines and lists and all that other stuff, they were only privy to the information they were given. They were only able to put out what they were given, so it was somewhat controlled. Not anymore with everybody wanting to make a buck, but it was somewhat controlled. Here, every fan with a smartphone is apparently a journalist. Every fan with a smartphone and an internet connection or a camera in their pocket, everybody's got one of these. And apparently, if you have one of these and you see a wrestler out in public, you're now a fucking journalist. And I can't stand it, dude. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, in multiple reasons, because if you really look at it, we're fans, yes, and like I I don't even consider myself a podcaster because it's just me having fun with friends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do I have a podcast that does reach out to people? Yes, but I'm not a professional by any means. So I'm not gonna go up. I'm not gonna like if I see, or I'll just use LA Knight. If I see LA Knight out and about, I'm not gonna rush up and be like, hey, you know, and like pick. To me, he's a dude. He's out doing his thing in public.
Yeah, I might give like a yeah from like across the street, but that's about it.
Yeah, these these fans are out. These super fans are out of control.
It's horrible, dude. Um, I a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this, but people need to stay in their lane. People need to understand where they are and stay in their lane. Everybody thinking that, you know, because like I said, they have a phone or they have a podcast or they write a blog or whatever the case may be. It annoys the shit out of me. And I've got friends who have worked for WWE for the last 20 years. I've got friends who've worked for Impact. I have friends who work in AEW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, and they all say the same thing. They all say the exact same thing. It gets freaking old. And how you said, you know, just because you have a podcast, you're not going to run up into somebody's face. Here's the thing. Everybody today has a podcast. Every single person. People have podcasts today. It's if you walk into a restaurant and you throw a rock, you're probably going to hit somebody who has a podcast. So you might walk up to these wrestlers going, "Oh, I have this podcast," and yeah, that might be special to you, but they've heard it 50,000 times.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, and that actually came up in the phone call conversation I had with Ken Anderson. He goes, "I
Oh,
want."
Ken's my boy.
He says, "I want you to stand out." He goes, "I want you to show me that you want me on your show." And he goes, "Be completely honest with you, I watch your stuff and I like you." And you know, and he goes, and don't he goes, I people were sending me your stuff when you started doing your imitation, and he goes, that's what caught my eye. He goes, "You do things different." He goes, "You're having fun and you do things different and you enjoy it and you don't disrespect us as performers." I'm like,
Yeah.
and I think that goes a long way. And a lot of these guys out there that's just trying to grab at people, because I've had, and again, I'm not going to call anyone out. I can, but I won't. I've had about 5 or 6 people come to me asking me for Ken's personal phone number. I have it. I don't use it. It's there for.
Oh, I use it. Oh, I freaking use it. I called that man the other day. No, Ken's a really, really awesome human being. I'll tell you a funny story. I interviewed Ken on my podcast back when I used to interview wrestlers, probably over 2.5 years ago now. But we finally met in person for the first time, WrestleMania in Dallas. And we met because Garrett Bischoff is one of my closest friends. I love Garrett. We talk all the time. Garrett's my boy. I have his ring worn Aces and Eights vest hanging in my office.
That's sick. That's sick.
It's literally right there. But anyway, I go to the meet and greet for WrestleMania, and not WrestleMania, but WrestleCon, and Ken and Garrett are at the same table. So I go say what's up to Garrett, you know, and I introduce myself to Ken, be like, "Yeah, you're actually on my show." And Ken and I both served in the Army, so like we have a lot in common. But anyway, he talks to me. We're having a good time. He gives me his number. He says he wants a few projects he wants to work on. But aside from that, later that night, we're all at this mixer, the Kevin Nash mixer. We're all there hanging out, having a few drinks. And what really stood out to me is Ken Anderson was there with his wife, both of them amazing people. And before he leaves, he comes up to me and my wife and checks on us because we had been drinking a little bit. He comes up and checks on us and goes, hey, are you guys okay? Do you have a safe way home? Do you have a taxi? Do you have an Uber? How are you guys getting back? Are you guys good? It's like, yeah, man, we're good. I had like 3 beers, but we have an Uber. Everything's, but it's just the fact that he took the time out of his day away from the people that he had worked with and all the other fans who wanted to talk to him to come check on me and my wife personally. That really, really meant a lot to me. And it stood out even to this day. So I always appreciate Ken for that. He's a really, really awesome guy.
Yeah. No, me as because I came to him first as a fan.
Yeah.
Like I lost my shit when he followed me on TikTok. I was like, holy shit, really?
Right?
I'm like, like this is freaking awesome. And then and Andrew popped. He's like, Dad, that's so freaking cool. Like he watches our video and he liked the video with Andrew in it. He's like, Dad, he liked one of our videos. I'm like, yeah, dude.
He's very active on TikTok.
Yeah, and he um he trust that with him. I didn't want to like lose trust with him because he trusted me with his personal number, and I didn't want to give that out. And I've stepped,
Absolutely not.
that is one of those things where I sent him a text. Because after the show, he like, yeah, he goes, because you did such a great job with that, with the imitation. I want to like send you a picture, give me your address and that. And I thought I had lost it in the mail, like, but he hasn't sent it out yet. And I'm not calling you out, Ken. I'm just telling a story. But I don't like, I didn't want to use that as an avenue to say, hey, did you forget about me? Like, because I'm not that kind of guy.
Yeah, well, I know personally he does like his shipping because he actually helped me out when we were raising money for the women's shelter. He donated some ring worn merch that I was giving away as prizes for people who donated, and all the money was going to the women's shelter. So he really helped out with that. He sets aside like one day where he packages everything up that he has because he has his school.
Yeah. He's extremely busy.
Yeah, his school, his students, his wife, his family. So he sets aside like one day a month or whenever he can get to it to ship things out. So yeah, it's just he's busy as all hell.
Yeah, running that school, he was saying that his school goes in 3-month increments.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, we go 90 days, 90 days, 90 days. He goes, you might not be see the same kids 90 days or for the full 360, but they pay for 3 installments. He's like, they can go for 90 days, take 90 off, and then come back for 90 and 90 if they want. Yeah. He goes, it's just they pay for a full year. And I was like, that is, to know that he trained Dante Martin and his brother is pretty freaking cool.
No, absolutely. I cannot speak highly enough of Ken and the way he's been to me. And I'll tell you this, and this might make some people mad. I don't know who asked you for his number. I'm not going to ask you. That's between you and them. But I'll go ahead and say this, and they can get mad at me if they want to. If somebody's going to ask you for his phone number, they're not your real friend. They're trying to use you because you got that by putting in the work. That is a fruit of your labor. And instead of putting in that work and trying to do what you did, they're trying to shortcut it and backdoor and be like, oh, I'll just get it from Matt. We're boys, or he's my friend. And if they ask you for something like that, they're not your real friend. And I'll die on that hill. Either they're not your real friend or they don't respect you.
I think it's the latter.
I honestly, so blunt.
Oh yeah, no, I had that thought crossed my mind several times. And I've given people his business number that's clearly on his Instagram. I'm like, go through there. Go through his stuff on Instagram. He does answer. It might take a while, and I said the only thing, and again,
put in the work.
What he told me, be unique. Don't be Hi, I am so and so. I have a podcast. No, be unique. Shit, I flat out told him I video messaged. I put together a video message for him. I told him, hey, I challenge you to a Ken off. And that's still, I still go back and watch that. To
No,
me, that,
absolutely.
but so let's talk a little bit about let's see. So who okay, a match that you go back and you can watch at nauseum. Like, what is your all-time favorite match that you'll never get tired of watching?
Okay, so there's a lot on this list, but there's one that I always go back to. I feel like the story was great. I feel like the timing was great. I feel like both of them did incredible with presenting what they wanted to do. If I could only watch one match for the rest of my life, it would be Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes at Double or Nothing 2019 when they finally had their match. Their real match. I thought that match was incredible.
Okay. Next one on the list. What is your dream match? What is one that, from past to present, what is the one dream match that you would love to see? Prime versus Prime.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming these are in their prime. I would love to see Impact's Josh Alexander versus Superstar Billy Graham.
Wow.
I think that match would be phenomenal. I think that match would have everything in it that you would want to have. You would have good guy versus bad guy. You would have wrestler versus showman. You would have the workhorse versus the show off. You know, Superstar Billy Graham was always this big, flamboyant, larger than lifestyle character. And Josh Alexander is this guy who just puts his nose to the grindstone and he chips away and climbs the corporate ladder until eventually he's where he wants to be. And I think Superstar Billy Graham and Josh Alexander, both in their prime, would be an incredible match.
Okay. In today's business, across all platforms, we're opening all the forbidden doors. There's nothing safe. What's your forbidden door?
People aren't going to like this answer. They're not. Because one of them, it is popular opinion that this person is overhyped, doesn't deserve where they're at, doesn't deserve what they get, and I couldn't disagree more. Look, they might not be my favorite, but I believe they deserve everything they've gotten. And the other one is somewhat of has a reputation for being toxic in the locker room. But you cannot deny the talent that these two have. I would love to see Charlotte Flair versus Tessa Blanchard.
Ooh.
Charlotte Flair versus Tessa Blanchard, or Lindsay Snow versus Jazzy Gabbert.
Wow.
I think those two matches write themselves. Say what you want about Tessa. She is incredibly talented. Say what you want about Charlotte. Charlotte, and I will say this right here and right now. In my opinion, for my money, Charlotte is the most talented female ever signed by WWE in the history of wrestling. Period. The only one that comes close, in my opinion, is Gail Kim. And it was really hard for me to put Charlotte above Gail Kim. I might not like her. She might not be my favorite. And we can argue that, and we can have that debate. But if you're going to debate me that she's not talented, that she's not one of the best to ever step foot into a wrestling ring, we can't even have a conversation, because now you're not even willing to admit that she's talented.
Oh, that's absolutely correct. I mean, I for the longest time I couldn't stand Charlotte. I thought I didn't like her at all, and I've gone back and watched her, and there's no denying she's the most talented woman that's came along since I've watched.
I'll give you another one. I cannot stand, down to the pit of my soul, I cannot stand Bianca Belair. I will never say, you will never hear me say she is not talented. She is not an incredible athlete. She is not probably the strongest pound for pound female ever, one of the strongest athletes they've ever had. She has all these incredible accolades. She's just not what I like. I don't connect with Bianca Belair, and I don't have to. I don't have to like everybody.
Yeah.
But she is incredibly talented. She is an amazing athlete, an incredible spokesperson for the company. Everything you want. It's just not my thing.
Now that we're talking a little bit about Bianca, the whole Jade Cargill thing.
Ugh.
That, I mean, it's Bianca, in my opinion, it's Bianca Belair light at this point. And I hope they turn her into something. I really do, because she's an athlete too.
I will say that Jade Cargill has gotten better. There are some things she does that I find entertaining. I do think under the tutelage of the Performance Center, she will get vastly better. But everything I've seen of her to this point, Jade Cargill wrestles like a wet napkin. It's just my opinion. I do think WWE will fix a lot of these tendencies that she learned in AEW. And again, even at the back end of her AEW career, I said that less and less. I started to stop saying that because I do think she's gotten better. But 90% of her work is a wet napkin to me. I will always take Bianca over her.
Okay. I mean, it's in.
But I'll still take Jade over Nia Jax, goddammit.
I mean, I can't take Nia seriously since she said, "Oh my hole" on national television. Like,
for the longest time, dude, that was my most viewed video on my YouTube channel.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
I clipped it of just her screaming "my hole," and it was the most viewed video on my YouTube channel up until recently. Got a video with 20 million views. Just saying. But shameless plug. I think it's actually at 21 million as of today.
I think you just broke your arm there for a minute.
A little bit.
I mean, so next one we're gonna do. You don't have to go rapid fire, but I have a list of who do you want to see as.
Send it.
First up is Women's Heavyweight Champion. So it'd be the SmackDown Championship for the women.
Who do I want to give me I'm trying to think of everybody on the SmackDown women's roster because I know I'm gonna leave somebody out. You know what? Give me Shotzi Blackheart. I think what they did in those promo segments with her and Bailey, I think were really, really cool. I think she showed off that she can work a camera. I think she showed off that she can deliver a very good promo. Granted, it was pre-recorded, it was produced, but she still had to deliver. We've seen a lot of produced and recorded promos that went over like a fart in church. So I would say give me Shotzi Blackheart or Dakota Kai.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Raw's. Cody just.
Cody, this is not your show, damn it. It can be whatever he wants it to be.
Anyway. But yes.
It wouldn't be a show with you on it without the soundboard, so I thank you for that.
SmackDown is the undisputed women's champion, and Raw is the world women's champion.
Okay. But, so we'll go to Raw. Who do you want outside of Rhea? Who should be the champion over there?
If it wasn't Rhea?
Yeah.
If not Rhea, Really, they've only got one. They've only got one, and that's Becky. Becky is the total package. In
Yeah.
ring, on the mic, in public, whether she's on the Today Show or doing media for the company. Really, it's just Becky. That's really all I could see. I think Shayna Baszler is a really, really good one. But I feel like they kind of missed the mark. There was a time where Shayna was really, really white hot, and I think they could have built her as a monster heel like she was in NXT. But I think they missed the mark with her, and they for some reason it's like, oh, we just got Shayna out of a stupid ass tag team. What do? Put her in another stupid ass tag team. I don't get it. I'm not sold on Zoe Stark. I think Shayna could be. I think Becky is ready. Becky will always be ready. But there was one more I was thinking of, and it flopped right out of my head.
What about Raquel Gonzalez or Rodriguez?
Power for power, it makes sense. I'll tell you. Okay, if I'm going purely off wrestling ability, and almost nobody is going to agree with me on this. If we're going purely out of wrestling ability, somebody who should have been champion already, and I think is a great contender to win Money in the Bank and cash in and take it from Rhea, give me Candice LeRae. Candice is incredibly talented.
This next one is
Or Piper. Piper would be awesome.
that wouldn't be bad.
No, Piper's incredible.
This one is Cody's favorite. So I'm sure he's gonna start yelling and screaming inside of his truck when about this one. The women's tag division.
What about it?
Exactly. No, who should be women's tag champs, and why should we just
vacant?
I think that's the general consensus.
Look, it was a great idea. It was great in theory, poor in execution. First off, you came up with titles before you came up with a division. When has that ever happened? So now you have these titles that you're just randomly throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. Sasha and Bayley were great first champions, and you had the Iconics, but what did you have outside of that? Almost nothing. And then it's like, oh, let's put Shayna and Nia together. Oh, let's put these two random ass people together. Oh, let's do that. And then for whatever God blessed reason, you decide to have arguably your hottest women's tag team in Alba Fire and Isla Dawn lose to Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Fucking why? And where have they been since? You have a blank check. You have money with Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Where are they? Why are we not watching them every week?
I was actually wondering the same thing. Like they were two of the hottest commodities that came to the main roster from NXT.
I fucking love Alba Fire, man. I'm such an Alba Fire mark. I fucking love Alba Fire. And just because I said I'm a mark, do you mind if I do a rant really quick?
Go ahead.
Okay, really quick. I'm gonna get through this as fast as I possibly can. When did we, and I say this every time I'm on a podcast because I really want people to hear me and understand me when I say this. When did we decide that Mark was an insult? When did that become an insult? Because a lot of people who use the term Mark as an insult don't know where the fuck it came from. Matt, do you happen to know where the term Mark came from?
It was because I've watched your video, so I know exactly.
It originated in the carnival circuit.
Yep.
Back before there were debit cards, back before there was Apple Pay, back before there was all this other shit, you had to pay with cash. So when you walked up to the pay window to get your ticket at the carnival or the fair, you'd open up your wallet, and the guy selling you the ticket would look into your wallet. And if you had a lot of money, he had a chalk handprint. There was a brick of chalk. He'd rub his hand on it and pat you on the back. And you'd walk around with a fucking chalk print on your back. That let everybody know who was working the carnival circuit. That guy's got a lot of money. Try to make him spend it. That's where the word mark came from. They were marked with the handprint. And then when it was adopted by the world of professional wrestling, it was meant to describe somebody who was in on it, somebody who was smarter than the average fan, somebody who knew what was going to happen. Or if you were going to wrestle and you were going to rough up a fan, the mark was the guy you roughed up because he knew what was going on. So the term mark was first meant to describe somebody who was incredibly wealthy, or two, somebody who was smarter than the average person. So somebody please explain to me why mark is an insult. How did that become an insult? How did that become a you gotcha moment, you stupid mark? Because when you call somebody a mark, you called him somebody who was smart and rich. So call me a mark all you want. I don't know why this is such an insulting term.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't know what it was until I watched your video. Well, what, a year? No, it hasn't been up that long.
I feel like I make that video once every 3 months.
Yeah. Your original one, I was like, you know what? That's fine. Call me a mark. What's up, Mike? Heel Mike's in the chat.
Dude, I'll be a mark all day long.
Exactly.
Call me a mark. It's not an insult to me.
Next up, other than Roman, who should be the WWE Universal?
It's got to be Cody. It's got to be Cody.
I agree.
It absolutely has to be Cody. They have built this. They have fed into it. And you go back and look at all the time somebody was white hot. Elias. Back when Elias was stupidly over and they did nothing with it. He never got back to that status. Look at Cesaro. When the Cesaro section was in full effect, they didn't pull the trigger on him. He never made it back to that status. Now, I don't think they'll ever let Cody fall that far because he is a good talker. And he can put asses in seats. And he is a main eventer. But it has to be Cody. And there are a lot of people saying that it doesn't have to happen at WrestleMania. I don't think it has to happen at WrestleMania because of Cody. I think it has to happen at WrestleMania because of Roman. When Roman has done as much as he's done, he's been champion as long as he has, you're not going to let that title reign end on SmackDown. It's not going to end on Raw. It's got to end in one, for a moment that big, to end over 1,000, what is it, like 1,500 days now?
Something like that, yeah.
No, it wouldn't be 1,500.
No.
It's going to be another year. It's probably like 1,200, somewhere around there. To end that, it has to happen at on a monumental stage, and that stage screams WrestleMania to me. Plus, this year's WrestleMania is in Philadelphia. What is Philadelphia known for? What is one of the things other than cheesesteaks and the Eagles? What is Philadelphia known for?
ECW, but
take wrestling out of it. Think of movies. Think of other
Rocky.
There we go. Rocky, the ultimate underdog. Got his ass kicked time and time and time again, but he stuck in there, and in the 8th, 9th, 10th round, came back and found a way to win. Philadelphia is a city born of underdogs, built of underdogs, carried on the backs of underdogs. So the true underdog story, in my opinion, happens in Philadelphia. It's the spirit of what Philadelphia is. ECW was an underdog to WWE. Philadelphia is where underdogs thrive. That's where you got to pull the trigger.
Roman Reigns is currently sitting at 1,115 days.
Okay, gotcha. Appreciate that.
So next one up is who other than Seth Rollins should be the heavyweight champion.
Say it with me, guys.
Shinsuke Nakamura! God damn it!
This man is doing some of the best promos he's ever done. He should have won the goddamn world title when he won the Royal Rumble. The fact that Shinsuke Nakamura is not a world champion at this point blows my mind. Like, I can't wrap my head around it. And the way he is treating this Seth angle Can we at least just give him a shot? Can we give him just a chance? Yeah, we might be wrong. We've been wrong before. We've had dog shit champions before. Hi, Kevin Nash. But what if we're not wrong? What if he's incredible? What if he's great? We're not going to know if you don't take that chance. Shinsuke.
I can get down with that.
Or Gunther.
Dual titles?
No, he needs to drop it. I'm just saying, like, I could see Gunther being world champion, but I think Shinsuke Nakamura is finally hitting that NXT Shinsuke that we all fell in love with, that he hasn't hit in a long time. So, yeah, give me Shinsuke.
All right, men's tag.
First off, they need to be split.
Okay, so who on Raw and who on SmackDown? We'll split them here because they should be.
Imperium
on Raw.
Imperium. Love Imperium. Always been a big fan of Imperium. I think one of the biggest drop balls was having a WrestleMania match between Imperium and the Grizzled Young Vets. I thought that would have been an incredible matchup. So I'm going to take Imperium. And then for SmackDown,
I think Pretty Deadly would be amazing.
Yeah, man. It's exactly who I was thinking. I love Pretty Deadly. I know people think they're annoying. I know people don't like them, but I fucking love them. I absolutely love Pretty Deadly.
Yes, boys.
I love it. I love it so much.
All right. We're going to talk about our next one is one of my favorite championships. I love the United States Championship. Who should beat Ray, or how long should Ray keep it?
With everybody saying L.A. Knight. Yeah.
LA Knight. He's primed and ready for gold. I think he needs to go in there and just spike Rey Mysterio on his forehead with the BFT, pin him, and watch this man make the United States title one of the most relevant titles in all of pro wrestling.
I think he'll do for the U.S. title what The Miz did for the IC Championship. I really do.
He very well could.
Moving on to that championship, the Intercontinental Championship. Who's the one that should be done?
Chad Gable. He's putting in the work. He's having incredible matches. Him and Walter have stolen the show every time they've been in the ring together. Give me Chad Gable. Please, please, please give me Chad Gable. We have arguably the second coming of Kurt Angle. This man is absolutely phenomenal. He completely bounced back from the Shorty G gimmick, which I didn't think was possible, but he did. And he is operating on a level that's just special to watch. Give me Chad Gable. That German suplex over the barricade into the timekeepers area is arguably the greatest suplex I've ever seen in my entire freaking life. And I lived through the human suplex machine. Okay. I've seen the birth of Suplex City. I've watched it all. The Mr. Perfect Fisherman. I've seen all of them. That one right there, nothing even comes close. Give me Chad Gable.
Okay. So who on NXT should be the women's champion? Since we're
now you're getting me, because I don't really watch NXT much anymore. I do watch some of it. This might be a very underrated opinion, because when they were a group, this is the person who I think got the least amount of credit. Everybody talked about the other two. But when Toxic Attraction was a thing, everybody loved Mandy. Everybody loved Gigi Dolan. I was a JC Jane kind of guy. I love JC Jane. I think she's incredible. I think she was the best wrestler out of the three. I'm going to take JC Jane for women's champion.
Okay. Who should be the NXT men's champion? The main title holder.
It's kind of hard to go against Braun Breaker at this point, isn't it?
The dude is a beast.
It's really kind of hard to argue that. I will say that as long as that title is on Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, Wesley, or Carmelo Hayes, they're in good shape.
Now, how do you feel? Do you like the fact that they finally let Pete Dunne be Pete Dunne again, and not Butch? Because they were talk on
Is his
on the
name
NXT.
Pete Dunne?
Yeah, they're back to saying Pete Dunne on NXT.
I've taken a break from streaming. I don't know if you noticed, I haven't been live in a while. I've taken a break from streaming. So with that, I haven't watched wrestling in. I watched Friday for The Rock, but that was really all I saw. I think as fans, we need to relax. I think as long as the talent is okay with it, we have no reason to be upset with it. Everybody likes to get in their feelings about names and what they do. And I was one of them. But then I heard Gunther talk, and he was like, look, if they called me Gunther beforehand and then changed it to Walter, people would still react the same way. It doesn't matter. So I think as long as the talent is happy with it, we need to shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Myself included.
We'll go North American title. Who should have it other than Dom, or we keep it on Dom?
I think we keep it on Dom. We got to stop acting like Dom's not a draw. We got to stop acting like Dom isn't over. Look, just being over doesn't mean you're always cheered. You could be over as a heel and get booed out of the stadium. There is not a single person in wrestling today that gets Dominic Mysterio heat. Dom gets heat like nobody else. Dom's heat is fucking heat. And it's not cheap pops. It's organic heat. And nobody gets heat like Dom. And I think you need that. I think you need to have one of your championships on a heel, and him doing heel shit and winning in the most weird, off the wall, bizarre ways, and just make people hate him even more. Dom needs to get, if 98% of the wrestling community hates him, he needs to figure out how to make the other 2% hate him. Because what Dom's doing right now is incredible. It's awesome.
So we'll switch over to AEW now. Who, if anybody, should have the AEW championship?
MJF.
Yeah.
He's really the only thing AEW has going for it. They have some really talented wrestlers. But MJF, he is the blue chip of the company.
I agree wholeheartedly. Because he's better than you, and you know it.
Everybody knows it.
The trios championships. Who should have those?
House of Black.
Absolutely. I like the Acclaim. Don't get me wrong, but the House of Black
didn't need a title run.
They really don't.
No. I will tell you this though. Tony Khan is single-handedly keeping the belt business in fucking keeping the belt business alive with how many titles he is bringing out. And I'm not just talking about like different titles. I'm talking about like variations. How many different TNT titles have we seen? Every trios champion has had a different title. We've seen different variations of the women's, different variations of the tags. I think the only one that has only changed once was the AEW World title. No, it's changed 3 times. Never mind. He is changing those titles so fucking much. He is keeping the belt business in check.
I do like the Acclaimed trio titles. Those are pretty cool looking. I might have just lost my card, but
no, I don't think titles should do this. Fucking weird. Like I get it, but it's fucking weird.
And yeah, the Burberry stuff from MJF. That's probably the coolest one I've seen. The Burberry.
I think Miro's TNT title was the best title AEW's had. Miro's TNT championship, the white and green one, was
okay. Yeah,
was beautiful. That thing was awesome.
Let's go with who should be the TNT champion?
TNT champion. I'm looking around my office because I have all the AW figures going around the top of my office. Takeshna. Takeshna's
with
doing
attitudes.
phenomenal.
Two dudes with attitude, Ryan and MW over there goes. Luchasaurus should keep the title.
He doesn't even have it now.
Oh, I don't pay attention to AEW.
He has it, but he doesn't have it.
Okay.
This angle with Christian Cage. But no, I think Takeshna is doing some great work, and I can see him being a champion very soon.
I don't watch a lot of ROH product, but who should be the ROH champion?
Eddie Kingston.
I think
he needs to take it from Claudio. It's his time.
What about the one there's someone that I shout out every time that I watch ROH, and I'm like, I have to keep kind of almost pinching myself because I talk to this guy a lot as well.
I think I know where you're going.
Shane Taylor needs the title run. The dude is an absolute animal. And I don't care if it's just the television title. He should have beat Joe.
Well, the problem is you can't have Joe lose going into a world title match.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what I like about Shane Taylor. And it's very much the same things I like about Eddie Kingston. Pure authenticity. There's no gimmicks. What you see is what you get. It's authentic. It stands out. And I think that's why it stands out is you don't look at Shane Taylor and look at yourself and go, who is he trying to be? You don't look at Eddie Kingston and go, who is he trying to act like? They are themselves. It is pure authenticity at its finest. And that is one of the most attractive things about a wrestler to me is when they can be themselves and be comfortable being themselves. Too many people try to get lost playing characters.
Yeah.
And I love the people who go out there and just be themselves.
Shane is definitely one of those guys that he is Shane Taylor 24/7, 365 days a year.
You guys know sold my questions the last time you had him on, but hey, I'm not salty about it.
Well, he will be back on.
No, it's all damage is already done. I thought we were friends.
Actually, I want to. This is far enough in advance. I gotta check the date specifically. November 24th. It's the day after Thanksgiving. If you can be sitting right here, it can be in the evening. It can be whenever. Scott and I are planning on having Shane on the show. That is a specific date because the next day, and I'm sure you're going to, on the 25th of November, you better have that already circled because it is Michigan-Ohio State Day. So the 24th on our sports
is Shane a
show,
Michigan guy?
Shane is Ohio State through and through.
Hey, my boy, tag me in. Let's go. I'm there. You and your brother.
See,
I'm there.
Okay.
Shane, Mr. Taylor, if you're watching this, tag me in. Tag me in, coach. Tag me in.
See, now, because I know a few, like, because Brian Malonis is another friend of the program. before we were I was talking to him, and he said before you go live with, because I was talking about how I was a Steelers fan. I'm a Lions fan, Kansas City fan, and a Steelers fan.
You're a what?
I'm a Lions fan.
No, other one.
Kansas City?
No, almost. What in between there?
Pittsburgh? I'm a Steelers fan.
Damn it! You know I'm a Raven fan, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know my son's named after a Baltimore Raven, right? There's an autographed Ray Lewis jersey right there. There's a custom Ravens championship right there. There's Raven helmets, 4 of them in my office. God damn it, Matt.
We're gonna have fun in the next few weeks.
Oh, we are, aren't we?
No, for me.
How's Kenny Pick 6 looking?
I mean,
my bad.
They're number 3 on my list. It goes the Lions, Kansas City, and then Pittsburgh. They're not my number 1. I was a fan, still am a fan of the franchise because they were on TV when I was a kid growing up. That's all I saw. It was the Lions locally, and then they moved to the next would be Pittsburgh, and then Kansas City's the same thing. Like I grew up watching these teams, so like I could be like Cody and be the Dolphins, Texans, and Bills.
Dolphins, Texans, Bills. Cody, can we stop acting like Josh Allen is that guy? Can we stop pretending that he is that guy? Because everybody makes fun of Kirk Cousins not being able to win in the big games. Everything people say about Kirk Cousins can also be said about Josh Allen. It goes hand in hand. And I saw Broncos in the chat. Let me go and throw this up. I got my Broncos Super Bowl ring. Super Bowl 50. But I think we need to stop acting like Josh Allen is that guy. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying he's the only person that we've allowed to be that guy without proving he's that guy.
Yeah. And I get a lot of hate because I'm a Kansas City fan. I'm not a Kansas City fan because of Patrick Mahomes. I'm a Kansas City fan because of Derek Thomas.
Patrick Mahomes is a beast.
Well, no, me personally, it's Derek Thomas.
Andy Reid was doing great things with Alex Smith too before Pat came in.
And my wife is obsessed and loves herself some Travis Kelce.
Doesn't every female?
She loves herself some Travis Kelce.
I look just like Travis Kelce if you kind of like close one eye and you close the other eye. I look exactly like Travis Kelce.
And you think about Travis Kelce?
In the shower.
Yeah. No, it's and look, I play fantasy football like any other dude.
Mm-hmm.
My wife plays, and okay.
What? What's that like?
I've been running this league for 17 years.
Yo, I had to hurt my wife's feelings the other day.
I've ran my league for 17 years. Been to the championship game about 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
Have 0 championships.
So you're the equivalent of the Bills.
Yeah.
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 I had to hurt my wife's feelings the other day. We were doing my fantasy draft, and she looked at me with all seriousness. Can I pick your player? Babe, what did you just say? Can I pick one of your players? I'll let you pick one of my players if you can tell me what that gold line, that imaginary gold line on the field, if you can tell me what that gold line is for, I'll let you pick a player. Yeah, you ain't picking shit. I love you. My best friend. You are the most amazing person I've ever met in my life. You ain't picking shit. You picked me. That was your golden ticket. That's about the only pick. Because I seen your ex-husband. I was about the only pick you got right.
No, my wife has won the league twice.
Nice.
So, and I'm hoping because we have incorporated a championship belt for last season was the first year, and it will kill me if she wins it this year. And currently, she is the only undefeated team in the league. She is 2-0. The rest of us are 1-1.
Nice.
So I am not looking.
Who in your league had Chubb?
Hold on. Let me.
I bet you nobody has him now.
Well, yeah. But I can go to transactions and it'll tell me who dropped
I'm
them.
just curious because that hurt.
Well, no one's dropped them yet. That's the same leg he broke in college, by the way.
Yeah. Dude, I live in Georgia. Trust me, I know all about Nick Chubb. I got the Georgia Bulldogs championship right there.
Oh yeah, so he's still owned. He's still owned, and he's a let's see, let's take a look at his team. He's got Derrick Henry as his other running back.
Not bad.
And he put him on the IR, so he's clear. I mean, he wants to hold on to him, so it is what it is.
I think that's season-ending injury, possibly career-ending.
Yeah, I think he's done.
Like his leg was the complete opposite way. It was nasty.
So, getting back to, I got like 4 more wrestling-related questions.
Okay.
Which title would you like for them to bring back? Like I'm saying like which like is there a specific old school belt that you'd like them to incorporate instead of what they have now?
I would like to see the Ring of Honor title that Cody Rhodes held come back.
Okay.
Either the Ring of Honor title that Cody held or this version of the IWGP heavyweight title. I think both of those are incredible titles that should have never left.
Who would you? We'll end on this one as far as the wrestling stuff. Who would you most want to bring over from AEW to WWE? And I think that should be a unanimous decision. I think everyone has the same question, same answer.
Who's that?
MJF.
I am strongly against that answer.
Really?
Yes. The thing that makes MJF special is the leadway he's given and the things he's allowed to say and the things he's allowed to do. I don't think that works in the WWE machine, especially now that they're owned by or primarily owned by Endeavor. I don't see them allowing him to be this version of MJF. So if MJF goes to WWE, I don't see us getting this version of MJF. I really, truly don't. So I am firmly against that. I would love to see him on a more popular stage. I would love to see him at a Mania. I would love to see him wrestling people in WWE. But I would need assurances that they're not going to try to change him. If that were the case, then yes, I would say MJF. But I don't want to get a watered down version of MJF. I want this MJF. So for those reasons, I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to take a team. House of Black.
Oh.
House of Black. House of Black feuding with the Judgment Day, I think would be awesome.
I think the next person up is going to be Ricky Starks. I think we're going to see Ricky Starks in the WWE.
I think he's definitely making the jump.
I can see potentially the House of Black jumping as well. Like now that you mention them, I can see them jumping. I would love
to see it.
So is there anything that you want to plug and throw out there as we wind this episode down of like?
Yeah, if you guys don't already follow my YouTube channel, I'm really trying to grow my YouTube. As of yesterday, we hit 40,000 subscribers. As of right now, we're sitting at 40,820. I just posted 3 new videos today that I think you guys would really, really enjoy. My name is the same on every single platform. So if you guys could jump over and give my YouTube channel a sub, I would really, really, really appreciate that.
And thank you for coming on. And I look forward to next week's episode where we will have the other co-owner of my co-host for Friday, my co-owner of the Huge Pop Wrestling podcast umbrella, my brother, Huge Pop.
I thought you were talking about Cody. I was like, I'm a quit.
No. I fired his ass.
Really?
I fired him.
Why?
There was an episode that I couldn't air 2 weeks ago because he said some very, 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 very inappropriate things on an episode. We had to ditch that episode. That's why we didn't have an episode 2 weeks ago.
Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Look, I think Cody is a very passionate person. And there's nothing wrong with being passionate. I think one of the cool things about Cody is he says what he means and he means what he says. Cody's never going to go back on something he said. Now, that could be very good. That could be very bad. I don't think you can fault somebody for standing in their convictions and believing what they believe and not deciding to waver. With that being said, there are some things you probably shouldn't say. Even if you believe them, you probably shouldn't say them. I think Cody's a good dude. I do. I think Cody's made mistakes like all of us have. I'm not one to hold somebody's past against him. I think Cody loves being controversial. I think Cody loves riling people up. And hey, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But if it works, it works. So
I tell you what,
I got nothing bad to say about him.
He's got the biggest spoon, and he's constantly stirring the pot. That's for goddamn sure.
I'm not going to disagree with that statement.
But, next week we will be talking with my brother about his favorite wrestler. He's kind of one of those coin flip, depending on who he wants. It's typically either he goes between Hulk Hogan and Sting. So we'll see where we go there. I'd rather talk about Sting.
I'd rather talk about Dusty.
Well, but thanks again, everyone in the chat. Everyone in the chat, thanks for your time, and follow Heel Kevin. Which, quite honestly, if you guys don't already and you're in my chat, what the hell is wrong with you? Seriously,
I appreciate that, man.
And I gotta talk to you. You're stealing my gimmick now. You're using your son in your videos. That's my gimmick. That's gimmick infringement. I will be getting with my lawyers.
Oh, okay. I got it. I got your cease and desist. It's on my toilet paper roll in my bathroom, which I appreciate that because I was getting kind of low. I'm glad you printed it on 3-ply because I need that in my life, especially after Taco Bell. But hey, I appreciate that.
No, I thoroughly enjoy those videos that you're doing with him. It's a lot of fun.
It's weird, dude. It's weird, man. It's weird because that game that we're playing, there are so many inappropriate cards. So many. And like, I have to make sure he's not pulling one that's really bad. So like before we film those videos, I go through and I pull about 20 cards that are okay, and then he pulls one out of there. But there are so many yeah, there's so many of those cards, them
Bounce chicka wow wow.
them kind of cards. And you have to act out what's on the card. And he's 10. So like I really have to censor those cards, man.
Oh yeah, believe me. I mean, I didn't realize. I guess I don't play with the headset for Fortnite. I don't, and so I'm not hearing some of the stuff that. And he plays religiously on like, and he's got headphones, and he's all like, and I heard him the other day call one of his cousins. He says he told one of his cousins, "Stop being a pussy."
Yo, I was walking by Hunter's room, and again, he's 10. And I shit you not, Matt. I heard my 10-year-old son tell some other little kid, "I'm going to bang your mom and give her a kid she actually loves."
Holy shit.
That was about a 2-hour conversation that was very awkward to have with a 10-year-old.
We had to have that conversation as well with Andrew. And I basically looked at him and I'm like, we can't talk like that, dude. Like, how about from going forward, the only time that you have your headset on listening to other people talk is when I'm in there with you or you're in a private party with someone else.
See, our conversation was very different. I was proud as a motherfucker. Your conversation was, you can't talk like this. My conversation was, you can't talk like this when your mom's home. I was a proud dad. I'm not even bullshitting you. I was proud as I was like, not only does he know how to talk shit, but he does it in the right context.
Well, that's the thing. Andrew knows how to talk trash. He knows he knows how to use it, but he doesn't know what he's saying.
Yeah, Hunter has that too. Oh my God. My nephew. My nephew is the worst of that, dude. We were going to play golf. And I know you got to wrap things up. Let me just tell you this last one. My nephew, he doesn't understand what words mean. So I'm going to tell you what he said. And you're going to lose your shit about this. But we're driving in a car. We're on our way to the golf course. And he looks at me and goes, "Uncle Kevin, I'm going to beat you." I said, "No, you're not." He's like, "Yeah, you are." He was like, "Yeah, I am. I'm going to beat you in golf." He's like, "You know what? I'm not just going to beat you. I'm going to finger bang you." I slammed on the brakes. I was like, "Don't you ever say that again in your life." He was like, "What?" I was like, "Do you know what that means?" He was like, "My friends say it all the time. When they're pushing the buttons, they're banging the buttons with their fingers. That's finger banging." I was like, "Yep, that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is." I'll let your mom have that conversation with you.
Oh, thank you for that. That is that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The children in my family stand no chance.
Oh, that being said, thank you again for stopping by, and we will.
Hey, no problem.
And we will see you next week. I look forward to another great conversation.
Hey,